Parenting in Germany versus parenting in the United States. Let's take a look. Willkommen! My name is Sean Huggins and this is React with Hugs.
I want to see how he reacts when he thinks no one's watching.
I can't help it if he's weird.
He's American.
He's going crazy with that work.
Everybody reacts differently.
I think he's weird, but that's me.
He's American, you know.
Welcome to React with Hugs. Let's take a look at today's comment of the day. So today's comment of the day comes from Colocat9191 and they say, great video, great reaction. And I just learned that I can move the subs around. Ooh, fancy pants over here. Well, Colocat, thank you for the nice comment. I'm glad that you enjoy the videos and the reactions. Speaking of which, let's hop into today's reaction. So today we're taking a look at parenting in Germany versus the United States by Montana Showalter. Interesting. I am not a parent in the United States or in Germany, but I am curious to see the differences that Montana Showalter will present to us today. So let's see what the differences are, shall we? Los geht's.
Parents picking their children up from clubs at 2 a.m. I was like, no way. Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Montana and I was an exchange student in Germany this past year. Now I make a lot of videos on the differences between German and American culture. I'm finally moved into my dorm at the University of Virginia, which is why this background is so plain right now. Nice. It's like a concrete prison wall, but I'll try to be decorating it soon. It's just really hard, nothing sticks to it. So pardon the background, I'm trying to find the best place to film. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the differences between parenting in the US versus in Germany. Keep in mind, I only had like parents as a teen in Germany, so I don't know as much about the experience of a child growing up in Germany. Whereas in the US, I definitely have like more knowledge. But just to start off, I think that children in Germany have so much freedom at a young age. It was insane to me. Like, just German parents give their children so much more freedom to do what they want.
Please explain.
For example, German children play more alone a lot, and I was reading a few articles just to like make sure the points that I was making or the points that I've witnessed are true for more than just like the few examples that I saw while I was in Germany. It's definitely true that German parents aren't afraid to have their children go play alone and to be, say, a further distance away or maybe not even in view, versus in the US it's like a parent rule or like a babysitter rule that you have to be with your eyes on the child at all times.
Yeah, we call them hover parents in America. And yeah, we got a lot of those in America that you gotta like make sure the kid is playing safe and friendly and making friends and everyone's being nice and safe and you know, always hovering over top of the kids. So
they almost feel like they're being watched. The next point that brings me to is playgrounds in Germany and Europe. So there was this video, I believe it was by Vox, I can link it down in the comment section below, but it was on how Americans have just made their playgrounds so safe that children don't benefit from playing on them really, and you can see it in slides being totally enclosed in like soft plastic versus open and metal, and like everything is.
Have you ever tried to slide down a metal slide in the middle of summer? In the middle of a hot summer day, you're going bareback down a freaking skillet on top of a grill? You're basically just frying yourself. Bro, one of these things on a hot summer day? Are you kidding me? Give me plastic. Dude, this. You would mess around on this and go home with third-degree burns. These things were terrible. Like, these things were terrible in the summer. Give me plastic, but anyways, besides that, let's continue.
Designed for safety. There's a million railings and such. But playgrounds in Europe are considered more dangerous, but the children actually learn more from these dangerous playgrounds. And let me tell you, this is the truth.
What?
In Passau, which is where I lived, there was this playground downtown, and I have never been on like a playground and been so scared.
Whoa.
I was 17, so I cannot imagine
My
a
God.
5 or 6-year-old climbing on
You sure you were on a playground and not like in a medieval torture chamber museum or something?
this playground. It was like strings that made up this web almost, and these wooden and metal platforms, and then like you could climb to the top, but then it was really hard to get back down to the bottom. I'll try to find a picture of one similar to it, but I got so scared. I think my
Dude, that looks so awesome. Oh man, I would play on that right now, let alone when I was a
friend
kid.
like
Are you
helped
kidding
me
me?
off of it because I was so scared of it. That was definitely a culture shock for me. I was like, wow, these playgrounds look a little scary. Where are the bright colors of slides and play toys? It was still really fun, and whenever I went in the city or like walked by that area, there were always so many children on the whole climbing gym. Another aspect of independence that Germans tend to give their children is allowing them to ride the bus or like get to school on their own.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, this is not as common in the US. Like still a lot of people do it, but generally if kids are riding the bus to school, it's the designated traditional yellow school bus that everyone is used to seeing in movies and TV shows and stuff. And it's just the school kids that ride on those school buses. But in Germany, you take public transportation, you know, just the normal buses that anybody would take. And that is definitely a very big difference. Some people do that in America, but not most people. Yeah.
US, kids do ride the bus to school. However, it's a school bus. It's one of those big yellow school buses that you think of when you think of the US.
Those are real, by the way. Those are a real thing.
It's not the same as in Germany. In Germany, I would see like 5th graders on the actual bus because they don't have school buses. They just use their regular bus system to get to school. So there's adults getting to work. There's elderly people riding the bus, and there's children on it.
The local town drunk.
And
everything,
I just
a little bit
felt
of
like
everything.
in the US, people would be so scared to send their children on a city bus. It was crazy for me to see such young children riding the bus alone because it was taking me a long time to figure out how to ride the bus. Albeit it was not my home language or my mother tongue. So if it was in English, I'm sure that it would have been a little bit easier for me. But then again,
I actually think that the public transportation system in Germany, like specifically buses, for example, is actually pretty easy to understand. And actually, everywhere in Europe, actually, that I've ridden public transportation has actually been very straightforward. And that's obviously by design. Like, that's the whole point of public transportation, to be easy for people to understand so that when you have people traveling, they can still do what they have to do. The only like sort of semi hard part about public transportation in anywhere really is like the small details. Like, do I pay the bus driver when I get on, or is there like a ticket system at each bus stop that I pay for, and then do I give that ticket to the bus driver, or is there like a ticket box that I stamp inside the bus? Like, those little like details are where it gets quote unquote a little bit more difficult. But I mean, you just kind of figure that out in whatever city that you go to. But the German bus system is very straightforward, I think. I mean, I took it one of my first weeks here living in Germany by myself. I took it to a job interview by myself, speaking no German, and it was no problem for me.
Learning how to use the bus system at such a young age, and parents see that it's very safe and nothing's going to happen to their child. So another thing that I found is that American parents care more about really focusing on what their child is doing and like striving for their child to be the best. And this has kind of come to a term called helicopter parents, because it means that they helicopter around the child 24/7.
Hover parents.
And are always trying to control what they do. Just some examples of this.
I thought this was like the same as before, like just always having your eyes on them and not letting them like frolic around in peace. But maybe it's something different. I don't know. Let me see.
Are that I have a ton of friends whose parents are always controlling what they do. They won't let them go out a lot. They won't let them go out to just hang out with their friends sometimes. They're making sure they do their homework even if they're in 10th, 11th, 12th grade. They're making sure they're studying for
Strict
exams.
parents, yes.
And forcing them to do all these clubs they want because they want their child to be so smart and get into the best college or university. Just a very crazy practice because I felt like in Germany a lot of my friends were studying because they wanted to and they had the pressure on themselves to get good grades. I never really asked my friends too much if it was their parents putting pressure on them. I just know that at least for like my host family and my host sister, that sense of wanting to study and wanting to get good grades was very independent and not pressurized or not put on to the child because of the parents' ideas. But
No pressure.
also, like, that's kind of how I was. I think that parenting in Germany is more generalized there. More parents act the same, versus in the US, parenting can range so much. Like, you have parents who do not care at all what you do, and then parents who troll your whole life. So, it could totally be this way in Germany, and let me know if I'm wrong in the comments below.
I feel like there's probably a wide spectrum of parenting styles in Germany as well. There's got to be, right? I mean, there's so many people in Germany. You got to have a little bit of everything, right? There's just so many people.
In the US, some of my friends' parents did not say at all like what they could and could not do. They just let them do whatever they wanted, like didn't enforce if they got bad grades in school, literally nothing. I think my parents were kind of middle, but towards that more section because they trusted what I did and gave me lots of independence, and in return, I just wanted to learn better and I wanted to get good grades and be a good student on my own. So they never had to push me to do that. And then far other spectrum
aren't you Miss
is that
Fancy Pants?
some kids' parents did everything
I got
for
a lot
them.
of freedom, and I'm
some
just dumb.
Children and friends that I know, their parents have actually done projects and homework assignments to turn in for them because they wanted
that's
them to
wild.
get a good grade. That's just crazy to me.
That's wild. Having your parents do your homework for you, that's wild, dude. I wish my parents would have done that. That would have been freaking awesome. I'd just play video games all night, been like, Mom, Dad, do my homework for me. I got math quizzes due tomorrow. Every time I brought my homework to my parents, and I'd be like, how do I do this, like, math problem? Or, like, I need to write a history report on, like, this battle or something. My parents would be like, how am I supposed to know? You're the one in school, dude.
Because what are they learning? They're not learning anything. The main overall point to this is that in Germany, the motto would be that independence equals responsibility. So giving your children independence is in return going to make them more responsible. Personally, I agree with this opinion, but I still see many benefits to the American way, and just I think it's normal, at least how we're raised in America, to want your child to succeed, and a lot of parents.
Well, yeah, obviously. Every parent wants their child to succeed. That's not saying that, like, parents in Germany don't want their child to succeed because they give them more leeway and more independence. Obviously, every parent in the world wants their child to succeed. It's just a different parenting style. And yeah, I have to agree with the more German parenting style that she's talking about. That's how I was raised, very independent. I was able to do most of the stuff that I wanted to do within reason, obviously, but if I did mess up, then I got in trouble. Obviously, if I did something wrong, if I was a bad boy, I got in trouble. But I was allowed to have the choice to make mistakes and then deal with the consequences afterwards, and I think that's good.
Parents don't realize that they're being controlling because they just want what's best for their child. My last point with teens in Germany, because this is where I had the most experience, so to say, parents are much less strict with like partying, with drinking, and with clubbing and going out, that topic.
Yeah, I would say so too.
First off, it's legal. It's not illegal, so it would be a little harder for them to say no. Versus in the U.S., parents are like, no, because you could get arrested and it is illegal. Yeah. But parents want their children to be safe if they're doing any of those activities, and they will pick their child up from a party, or they will let their child have a birthday party when they're turning 16 or 18 in their house, so that it's controlled and they know that it'll be okay. I just thought that was really sweet of parents to do, because they're just kind of showing their care for their children in a different way. And
Well, that happens a lot in America too. Like when I was a teenager, I went to parties, birthday parties or whatever, when it was totally illegal and the parents knew about it, or we would have our parents or friends of parents pick us up after parties or whatever. And yeah, you just kind of work around it. And at the end of the day, like, parents just want you to be safe. So like if the choice is either your kid is going to go to a party and then drive themselves home drunk at 2 a.m, or you can drive your own child home at 2 a.m, a parent's going to pick choosing to pick their own child up at 2 a.m so that they know they're safe. Like, yeah, that happens all the time in America as well. But because it's illegal in America, it's more common to be more lackadaisical, and it's more common to have these sorts of things happen in Germany because you don't have to worry about being arrested, basically. Yeah, pretty stupid rule in America, but either way.
And it also shocked me to see like parents picking their children up from clubs at 2 a.m. I was like,
oh,
no
really?
way. That was all that I have to say. I wanted to give a disclaimer here at the end that my parents were very, very relaxed when it comes to what they told me to do and what they didn't. So I can't speak on all American parents, and same goes with my host parents. So if you have a different situation and if your parents or parents you know are much different, then please feel free to let me know down in the comments section.
No. Anyways, yeah, I mean, everybody's parents are going to be different, but I do agree with the overall sentiment of what she is saying, which is that in general, parents in Germany are more lenient on their kids. They give kids more freedoms to make their own decisions and make their own mistakes. And I think in general that's better. You know, you have to learn how to navigate this complicated world, this complicated game that we call life by yourself. And parents can guide you, but at the end of the day, they're not going to be there always to tell you the exact right thing to do all the time. So you might as well give kids the ability to be critical thinkers themselves from a young age. That's what my parents did for me, and look how I turned out. I'm 32 with a Dragon Ball Z t-shirt on, making YouTube videos in the Dachboden. Oh my god. What have I become? Anyways, I'm going to pass the question off to you guys, the experts. How do you feel about the parenting styles of Germans compared to Americans? Do you think that is better to give kids more independence, more leeway? Or do you think it's better to really stay on top of your kids and make sure that they're doing everything correctly, doing everything safely, and be way more involved in their day-to-day decisions? I'm curious what your thoughts are. Let me know down in the comments below. At any rate, though, that's all the time that I have for today. Thank you guys so much for being here, and as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.